All right, well, thanks to the request of wondering why I'm not making any content anymore. So he told me that the best content I put out was when I would do vlogs such as this while I'm driving or showing up at the receivers or at the shippers. So that's what I'm going to do. So right now I'm headed over to Pottsville from my house, and we're going to go pick up a 3-stop load. Unfortunately, this load is going to Cisco out on Long Island. Then it's going to go to Hunts Point and then Queens. So I'm going to have some fun there. Not the kind of loads I like doing, but it's what I have and it's what I'm going to do, I guess. So not worth crying about it. It ain't going to make me no money, bitching. So we're going to drive down here for about 30 minutes, and I'll catch you guys back over at Pottsville picking up the trailer. Well, we are pulling in here to Pottsville, just coming down the road right now, and I'm just pretty much just have DIY on in the background, listening to I guess what he did the other day. He ended up going to federal court to, I guess, testify, or not necessarily testify, but at least represent himself in the Surge bankruptcy case. So if you haven't checked out his channel, definitely check out DIY Semi. He's actually going to bat for most of us owner-operator and small fleets, and actually holding people accountable to make sure we get paid, because I would imagine the way he's putting it is Surge is just coming out and saying that we're all holding these loads hostage, and that's why they can't afford to stay in business and pay owner-operators what they're owed, because truck drivers are evil. I guess that whole notion. But anyway, like I said, go ahead and check his channel out. He's definitely very influential and definitely knows what he's talking about. All right, well, we got a truck that went down the wrong way. That's what we just had happen. He's backing out of the employee entrance. I don't know how he didn't notice that. There's a guard shack right here. Like, you can easily see the guard shack. I'm gonna park here in a second and run in. I only had to sit there for about 20 minutes to have all the other trucks check in front of me. So I figured, wanted to make sure it was set up right so you guys could actually see something. Grab my vest here, and I'm gonna go run in and check in. So I don't know what this guy's doing. So there was a guy that came in here, went down the wrong way. He's not checking in. He's just driving down the road now. I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about it, as long as you don't run into me. I'm not seeing this trailer over here. Alright, well, I'm going to go keep looking, and we'll find it, I guess. go check in with the guard shack. Get it back on the road. Can't wait to get to Long Island. This should be fun. Man, a 3-stopper. Basically, Long Island, the Bronx, and then Queens. Fun, 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 fun. All right, so we are going to Cisco Foods on Long Island, Central Islip. And it looks like they have parking there, about maybe 20 spots. Hopefully, what's going to happen is I don't end up not having anywhere to park. Let me put that on just so it's easier for me to, I guess, see what I'm doing, and maybe you guys can actually see me. So, like I said, I really don't want to do Long Island, but it is what it is. I'm going to get a decent amount of mileage pay, plus I'm going to get the, what is it, like the $250 they pay for doing the boroughs, and then I'll get stop pay on top of that. So I guess it's not going to be that bad but the problem is it's going to be a 2-day load, a 2-day run. I got to deliver to Cisco first, then go into the Bronx, and then I'm guessing I'm going to sit at Hunts Point, because that's going to be the only place I could probably park at. Pay my $30, pay my $30 to park there in Hunts Point, and then spend the night in Hunts Point, I guess, because in the morning I have to drive over to Queens, and I'm delivering to some National Foods, I think it's called. It looks like some kind of meat, grocery store / restaurant depot kind of looking place. You know, one of those no-name places that they have over in the inner city, I guess. And I guess I'm going to try to take some footage there, definitely, when I back up, because that place, the pictures I have are, at least on Google reviews, are this little these narrow sheds that you back into. And apparently the driver said that a lot of times your mirrors are touching, or you got to pull your mirrors in because they'll pull off somebody else's mirror. So that should be a great place to back into. So I'm definitely going to get some footage of that, or at least try to. It depends how busy it is and where I can set up the camera. But anywho, like I said earlier, I had somebody make a request that I start doing these video blogs, and I guess I'm going to try to do it. As you can tell, I'm very crappy with it right now, but we're trying. So I'm going to get down the road here. I guess I'll pull the camera back out when we stop at the TA over here on 80, and I think that's what, Columbia? I want to say Columbia, New Jersey. So that's when we'll pull the camera back out. I'll get fuel, a little bit of fuel for the truck and for the reefer. And yeah, we'll see what kind of mischief we can get ourselves into. POV shots of me putting fuel in the truck. But anyway, so diesel right now is $4.95 a gallon, and I finally got the ComData app to work. So I just got fuel for $4.19 a gallon. So I just paid $251 for 60 gallons of fuel, plus I don't know if I got a discount on DEF or not, but I just put 12 gallons of DEF in it for $54. All right, let's see what construction fun I get to deal with here on the GW Bridge. So we're I'm going to basically get going back on 80 here, going east. And I don't know, in about 2 hours, we should be somewhere out on Long Island, hopefully. So I got 116 more miles to go. Pretty much, this is about the easiest time you're ever going to get out on the island, or through Bronx or Queens or whatnot, is just to, leave late at night or super early in the morning, like 12 in the morning or whatnot. At least if you're leaving for Pennsylvania somewhere. Did I tell you how much I hate doing these runs? The only good thing about it is I've been here, I've done this stuff before, I've been on Long Island Expressway. I mean, you could take me back a few years ago before I ended up doing any of this, and I was terrified. I didn't want to deal with it. I figured I was going to get in an accident at every turn, and you know what? I almost did. I almost did get in an accident every turn, but you know what? Hell, today, now I still get in an accident almost in every turn when I'm running through the Bronx or Long Island or Brooklyn. Just it's inevitable. And I know when I did spot market freight, it always paid very well to go over there. Well, I can't say always. 90% of the time it paid well to go over there until these roads. Until whatever happened here with the rates. I know there for a little bit, like April, July, August, somewhere around the summertime of 2022. I mean, I was seeing rates for like $2 a mile to go from, I don't know, we'll say like Illinois to basically Long Island or New York City or whatnot. It was ridiculous. It wasn't worth the time, the energy, and the tolls to even bother doing it. Alright, well, we're going to get up on 80 here. I'm going to call it quits right now for fulfillment at least. And I don't know, maybe I'll pop back on when I'm going over to GW Bridge or something here. Almost 11:30 at night, and it's going to take probably about 30 or 40 minutes to get over to GW Bridge. I'm only 48 miles from where I got to be, but that's the glorious the glorious story of the GW Bridge and coming over here to New York. I pretty much left late, or well, technically really early, so I wouldn't have to deal with stuff like this. But here I am dealing with stuff like this. So if you look, the lower level is driving by just fine over here. But the only problem is the GW Bridge, you're not allowed on the lower level ever since September 11th. The trucks that you do see going by there, they're going to sit up in this little ramp over here and try to butt in. Well, I wouldn't say butt, but get in front of everyone. So let me see something here. Hey, anyone northbound at the GW, what is this, road work, or do we got an accident? Or both?
I think they're just working on the road, man.
10-4. Alright, so I don't know. Google was telling me that there was an accident over here too, but maybe not. I just wanted to make sure we weren't dealing with someone plowing into a bunch of road workers and sitting here for 5 or 6 hours for an accident investigation. Man. And then we got guys driving up the shoulder here because, New York. Well, anywho, I don't really have much to talk about tonight. Pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about I put out in my last video, talking about business and what I think is going to happen between 2023 and 2024, and I guess the first quarter of 2024. But I guess to elaborate on that, since I'm just sitting here in traffic, when I put that out there, it wasn't necessarily because I'm failing or I feel like I'm failing or anything. I put that out there mostly just to help other guys out, try to understand, their own frustration, and maybe so they don't beat themselves up as much. Because stress can get to you trying to, push your way through the lows, I guess, of the market, and maybe.
Why do I get so butthurt about these guys flying up the shore?
Anyway, before I guess being interrupted and engaging in a small conversation with that guy, what was I saying? Oh yeah, about rates and lanes and everything, and about being stressed out and blaming yourself. That's all the reason I put that video out there. It was just, I guess, to help guys understand it. Everything that's happening right now might not necessarily be their fault. Then again, it might be their fault. Like I said, a lot of people went out during the good rates and spent a lot of money and got themselves into a lot of debt, whether that be with a truck or with home expenses or a brand new car in the driveway or pickup truck, speedboats, jet skis, side by side, clean the SD card out. What was I saying? Oh yeah, about debt and guys getting like side by sides and all that other stuff. The way I see it is, especially if you have a business and you load yourself up with a bunch of personal debt, it basically leaves yourself very vulnerable, because now that money that you're making for supposedly profit to run your business or buy new equipment, or maintenance, it basically goes out the window for personal toys. And I know guys want to spend their money on stuff that they want to enjoy with their home time. But the problem is when you come into trucking and you start a business and you get a truck and everything. Every week or every month, it's going to vary on your profit, and to put yourself, or I would say to weight yourself down with that much personal debt and just expect everything's going to be all right, it's just irrational. At any moment, even if you have an older truck, newer truck or whatnot, you could be down for a few days, maybe a few weeks for just repairs, let alone accidents. Guy backs into your truck and destroys it and rips a radiator out of it and stuff. You're talking about maybe a month of no revenue. I would say at this point, if you can't stick about a month's worth of revenue away as an owner operator, you're probably in a very bad spot. You're one large breakdown or accident, I guess, away from going out of business and having to get a company job. Hold on, let me find out what's going on here. So are we losing a lane before the toll booth, or what's going on?
I can't even see 10 feet in front of me with all these fucking trailers in the way, so I don't know what's going on up there.
Alright, what was I saying? I don't know. I was just trying to put something out there, and just to help guys because when they do get into this, when you guys get into being an owner operator and you start getting those first couple settlements, you look at the settlements and you're like, wow, you got $2,000 or $3,000 in a week, maybe more if you're lucky. Usually if you're first starting out, it don't usually happen that way, but I don't know, it depends what you're pulling and what you're doing. You're going to see that money, and the first thing you start going through your head is, I can buy a brand new Ram pickup truck, I can buy a side-by-side, I can do this, we can go on vacations and everything. And that's great at that point of time. You just got the truck, you don't think anything's going to happen to it. And then, a month later, power divider explodes, or differential, or whatever you want to call it, or the fuel injectors start going one by one, and you already started, buying the pickup truck, buying the side by side, get those payments to let round up, get those payments. All right, I'm just making sure the guy's not coming into me with the end of the trailer. Yeah, get those payments all set up and everything, and now you got, you have problems with your truck. All right, it's getting a little thin here, if you want to call it that, a little narrow. So I'm gonna quit talking here, and I guess I'm just gonna watch guys' trailers and watch what they're doing, because we're all getting narrowed down here into like a little square box, I guess you want to say. I don't know if I'm losing 2 lanes, or if we're only losing 1 lane, or what's going on. But I don't feel like having anybody come down the side of my truck or trailer. So I guess I'll talk to you in a little bit once I'm over to GW Bridge here and or at Cisco. So how many lanes are in the GW Bridge? 5 lanes, I guess. So apparently we're losing 3.
4 lanes. Joking down to 1.
Ha ha ha. Alright, I'm stumped. Left or right? Which way we going? The left lanes are closed? Well, I guess I might as well just stay in the center lane here then. Well, they probably just don't bother getting out and changing the signs, you know. So apparently, I thought 3 left lanes were closed. It's the 3 right lanes that are closed. So they shut down the 1 left lane just before the bridge, put a bunch of freaking arrow signs there, and then you get through the toll booth, and then they shut down all 3 right lanes.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah. Does anything make sense anymore? Fucking bizarro world.
It's just not New Jersey's problem on the other side of the bridge. Hey Scott, sorry about this, man. What's that? I said sorry about this. Doesn't matter. Whichever way we would have went, we were screwed anyway.
Hey, could be worse. You could be going westbound on 78. They probably got like a 4-hour backup over there off of exit 25.
Oh, what, road work or a crash?
I guess there was a crash earlier. They got most of it cleared, but they're doing accident investigation. I guess there was a death.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's backed up, God, from exit 25 all the way to, I think, like, fuck, 38 or some shit. Alright, we are at Cisco on Long Island, here in Central Islip, and we actually have parking spots. In fact, I'm just going to take the spot right here on the end. And there we go. I thought I was racing this one guy here, because I didn't think there would be a parking spot, to be honest with you. That's what I thought was going to happen. I figured I would get here and all these spots would be taken, because it looks like they only have maybe 15 spots. But I figured Cisco here probably wouldn't have much trucks delivering here out here on Long Island, so I was basically taking a 50-50 gamble whether or not I'll have parking here. If not, I was gonna make a spot behind these guys or something, because here on Long Island there ain't nowhere to go. I think there's one truck parking area off of the Long Island Expressway 495 there, and that's it. And it fills up real fast. In fact, it's probably filled up at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd imagine. You get all these guys that live out here, they just park the truck there and get a ride home or whatnot. So that's it. So we made it to Cisco. and I'm gonna go take a nice 7-hour nap, I guess, and we'll see what happens tomorrow morning.